Metal Jesus here, and I'm back again with Anna.
Hey guys, and today we have part 1 of 2 of Sega Saturn Hidden Gems.
Yes, this is going to be a great video because it is a combination of your awesome Saturn collection, I must say, and also a few of mine. And we're going to mix in some North American releases as well as imports.
Yes.
This is going to be an awesome video. Let's take a look. I'm up first, and we're going to talk about a game that I was really excited to add to my collection. That is a 2D platformer called A Stall, and this is a beautiful, I would almost call it like hand-drawn 2D platformer, and I believe it only came out on the Sega Saturn, and it's just like stunning to look at.
Very pretty.
Very pretty, very pretty. Some of the other things that are beautiful in here too, like the sprite work and some of the characters, and how like you'll have these like bats, and there's just like tons of bats that are flying around. So it definitely shows off the Saturn, I think, really well.
Yeah, not only are you platforming, but you also have to do avoidance, like with those bats. You have to duck down and wait for it to clear. So kind of cool that they added that.
Yeah, definitely. I've really enjoyed this platformer a lot.
All right, from me, we have Magic Knight Rayearth, and this, you might be familiar with it if you have read the manga or even seen the anime, and it is a tale of 3 girls going on a journey learning about the magic within. We have never heard this before, but this is executed extremely well. The graphics are amazing. It does get a bit wordy. It is an action RPG, so you know what you're getting yourself into if you're playing this game, but it's definitely worth it. Puns, humor, battles, the whole 9 yards. You
know, one of my favorite things about this, though, is that when you brought it over, for one, the cover really stands out. Yeah. I mean, and at first I'm like, who made this? Like, it's so beautiful. And of course, Working Designs. Yeah. So if you know Working Designs, they basically, I believe, took Japanese releases and then repackaged them for North America and other parts of the world. Yeah. And they just went all out. They always had like these little foil kind of covers. Also on the back, you know, so it's like this sort of, they just really stand out.
You have to collect them all.
I know. and I believe there are a bunch of them on the Saturn, right?
A bunch. Yeah. A lot of people rave about them. I know we're not going to cover them all, but all you have to do is look up the Working Designs catalog, and you know you're getting quality.
Yeah, definitely.
We got Tempest 2000. This is pretty awesome because you can play the original, you can play Tempest 2000, a couple different modes, and it's very geometrical, and it's a shooter, and it gets a little tricky. It's definitely arcade style. Yeah. Difficulty goes up the more you play it, of course, but it's definitely just a whole lot of fun. Very unique way.
The other thing about this too is that the soundtrack, the CD soundtrack was amazing, like this techno, soundtrack. So I know a lot of people just love the game specifically for that. But
yeah, it just keeps you going.
I think that there was a version on the Jaguar that a lot of people are like is an amazing version as well. That's where I know it from. I had no idea that there was a version actually on the Saturn.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
Pick it up.
Next up is another platformer. No, but you have a series here.
Yeah, there is Clockwork Knights 1 and 2. And for me, when it comes to a series, I have to play the first one before the second one. But in this case, I'd almost say skip the first one. The second one, they really clean up the graphics and the feel of the game. It's way more solid, so if you had to choose one, pick the second one.
It reminds me of Mickey's Castle of Illusion a little bit, where he's sort of miniaturized or, running around in these kind of environments that are sort of like, it feels like he's on tabletops and there's like all these little balls and these little things, it's cool.
Yeah, definitely. If you just think of Toy Story and kind of interacting on that scale, and then paired with the Mickey Mouse games, that's definitely what this is.
And it's very impressive too, like as far as technically, because you can see that the characters are kind of pre-rendered. That's sort of like almost like Donkey Kong Country-esque, but they're obviously better looking for sure. Yeah. But then there's also 3D in the environment. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, we're going to jump into the Japanese imports. And for those that don't know, the Saturn really wasn't that popular in North America, and so when you start collecting for the Saturn, one of the first things you really find out is that you really want to jump into the Japanese imports, because one, they just had way more games, and often they're cheaper. So
Yep.
and also they're just games we just didn't get. So let's start off with one that we didn't get that I was so excited to get because I'm such a big Dream Theater fan, and that is Necronomicon. It's like Digital Pinball Necronomicon's the name of this game, and its claim to fame is that John Petrucci, who's the shredder guitarist for Dream Theater, you know, all the widdly stuff, he contributed original music to this game. And right there, I was just like, my panties got wet. I'm like, okay, I must own this. You know, it was pretty awesome. But I showed this game to you. First of all, that intro is hilarious, right?
Oh my god!
like the monk, and it's all serious.
It is very serious. Some ritual is happening, and it's the ritual before you play pinball.
I know, it's so dramatic, right? It's just
Yeah.
like, what the hell? Like, are children being sacrificed for them to making this game? I have no idea.
I had no idea that's how you're supposed to play pinball.
I know, but the cool thing is that the pinball is actually pretty decent. Like especially if you compare pinball games like on the 16-bit era, like on the Genesis, where the balls were kind of floaty, there wasn't any real weight to them. This was one of the early games of pinball that it starts to feel like real pinball.
Yeah.
So very cool if you're into Dream Theater and pinball. Next up,
we have Metal Slug, a classic, and this is just so awesome and so well done. It makes blowing up stuff fun and addicting. You just want to keep running as your little army guy and shooting tanks and rescuing cavemen tied to poles. You don't ask questions.
I think they're POWs that have grown out their beards. I have no idea.
I call them cavemen.
That's what you call cavemen.
And there's no logic.
No, yeah, that's true.
The game is fun, and that's what it boils down to.
And any time that there's a Metal Slug game on any system, whether it's Neo Geo Pocket, whether it's like some version that comes out downloadable, I have to snag it, because I do think they're some of the best run and gun games ever made.
Very, very good.
Very fun. And next up for me is a game I cannot pronounce at all. It's a shoot 'em up from Japan. I'm gonna try this.
Give it a go.
Soak yogurt rentai otak. I don't know what the hell is it.
You got it. I just call it sukiyaki, but
that sounds so much more official than mine.
Sukiyaki yogurt.
Wow. All
go.
right. Well, there you go. I should have had you do it. Well, so it's another in a long line of many Japanese shoot 'em ups. But I got it fairly cheap at Pink Gorilla here in Seattle, where they have imports, and so I don't believe it's a game that came out of North America, but it's really well done. Lots of stuff on the screen, very difficult. We were trying to play it and we were dying repeatedly.
Yes, really happy I didn't have to spend quarters on that game.
Yeah. So, but I definitely enjoy these kind of games, and the Saturn has tons of shooters, and this is another really good one.
All right, so next up we kind of have a collection of fighting games. I brought these over here, and I was like, we should pick one, and we couldn't just pick one, so we needed to share both of these.
They're both awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna cheat. One awesome thing about import games is that they have the English translation.
Yeah.
Unlike yours that you just mentioned was not so good, but
yeah. Usually though, you're right though. There's like, at least so that we can take it, type it into Google, and sort of find out about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
First up is Vampire Savior. This one is awesome. I picked playing some Egyptian guy, and the moves that he had. He turned into a pyramid. He did the dolphin.
We were
head.
laughing. There was some sort of ass attack right on. I was like, what the hell is going on here, right?
Yeah, it was just like, it had that humor, and then the mechanics of it were done well, that this is a fighting game that I can definitely get into. I don't play a lot of them, but this one, we just wanted to keep playing this.
We did, definitely. So that was really fun, and then you also had this one, Pocket Fighters, right?
Pocket Fighters. Cute little Street Fighter characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the moves, again, it's one that is done very well. The execution, the controls, the graphics, everything is just done so well that they're two totally different games, but both...
we could not stop playing either of these games. It was actually pretty fun.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take a shot at this. And last up, we have Manx?
We have no idea how to pronounce this one either, and it's written in English. That's the sad part, right?
Yeah.
It's probably named after something famous, and we're like gonna look like idiots. Right?
Yeah, but anyways, it's a Superbike game.
Yeah,
that is part of your collection, and man, that game, you zip around so fast. It's like you had 2 Red Bulls and you're cramming the pedal to 260 miles an hour and just go, 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 go.
Yeah, actually, it's a great example of the Saturn doing something that it typically doesn't get a lot of credit for, and that is 3D racing games. You just don't think of it, because usually it's right around that time where, you know, the Saturn wasn't great at 3D, and so I think it stuck to a lot of its strengths, which was 2D with a little bit of 3D. This is full-on 3D racing game. It's actually really fun. I kept wanting to play it because I was so close to winning the race. I was like, oh, you know.
I was there rooting, like, I want to keep watching these races. It's
definitely fun. And I don't think it's very expensive. It's pretty common, so.
All right, so that was part 1 of our Sega Saturn Hidden Gems, and we also wanted to let you know about how to play those awesome import games that we showed you. They don't work right out of the box. You need a little something extra.
Right. So, for instance, when I use mine, I actually use the Action Replay. And what a lot of people don't know is that the Saturn has a cartridge slot literally right behind where the CDs go. And you just pop this in there, and it basically expands the RAM, and it makes it so that you can play all regions, which is very handy. This one also has a bunch of cheat codes, which is really handy if you're stuck in a game or you just want infinite lives.
Yeah.
But Sega released an official one, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so you have this. It has 4 megabytes. You know,
that sounds like a lot.
It's a whole ton. And you can use this where it doesn't have that bonus of the cheat codes, but it's literally just has that added memory, so you can play those games that require it. Mainly those RPGs, and also. They have a branded Magic Knight Rayearth one.
Yeah, do you know what this does? I mean, other than being cool?
Yeah, this expands the RAM, but it also has the ability to save onto it, so it has 3 slots. I don't know if that's the only capability of this that differentiates from the official. Maybe you know?
Yeah, let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to know. But one thing to know about, like, when you're starting to collect for Saturn, you will want one of these, and this one's not typically hard to find. I've found that those 2 can be hard to find.
Yeah, and they can get pretty expensive, and if you just want to play the games, I'd say get the Action Replay.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is part 1, and we'll have part 2 coming very soon. Yes. So I want to thank you for coming on and sharing
for having me.
Your awesome collection. All right, guys, as always, I want to thank you for watching my channel, and thank you for subscribing. Take care. If you like these kind of hidden gems videos, well, I have a bunch more on my channel covering things like the TurboGrafx, PlayStation 2, N64, PSP, Atari 2600, and so many more. So go ahead and subscribe and you'll never miss a video.
All right, so that's part 1 of our Sega Saturn. That's what I was going to say.
There are Bob Seger special.
Bob Saget gems.
Bob Saget, yeah.
Which, let's not get into that.